Hi Andrea, how you doing? It's Harry.
Good, Harry. Hey,
Sorry about the
how
confusion.
are you?
Yeah, well, I tried to message you, but the thing is, I think there's another account under your name, so it was really confusing. But so yeah, I couldn't actually find the account. So sorry about the delay, but
Oh no, it's my fault. It's okay.
and so it's midday over there, isn't it? Just almost coming up to 1 o'clock.
Yes,
Uh,
it is.
what have you been up to today? Training, so to speak, or not much?
Today's my off day. I took my little girl to school, and ran some errands, and I've been home trying to organize and clean my house because we're having a fighter, a female fighter coming in to train with me.
Oh, okay, is that I saw you post on your Instagram. I'm not sure. I can't recall the name, but is that one?
Haley?
Is that one? Did she fly in to see you or?
She's driving. She's like 4 hours away.
Oh, okay, I see. That's fair enough then. I was gonna ask you. It's obviously not been the best last few months. I mean, the UFC debut was cancelled, and then I was looking, and obviously you're supposed to be in this grappling match, which was today, and that's cancelled.
Yeah.
I mean, it's frustrating.
Well, it would have been Friday.
Oh yeah, Friday, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. Sorry, apologies. And
Okay.
obviously, I was just gonna say it's extremely frustrating that you can't just compete in anything at the moment.
Yeah. It's okay. I guess I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah, it's part of the fight game, I guess. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm interested to know because something that's going on at the moment, which is obviously related to yourself, is Tough 26. There's some familiar faces on there like Roxanne and Rachel and Ariel Beck. Have you been watching it at all or not?
I have.
What are your
Yeah,
thoughts? Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I'm still glad that I didn't go. I'm happy that, I stayed home so I could, watch from afar and still get my own training in here and get signed without having to do all that. But, yeah, I've been keeping up with it, trying to, study my future opponents. And, I've already got my eye on some that I would like to compete against. But, we're just going to wait until that day comes.
Yeah, it was interesting because I remember I was reading and you were saying you don't regret not going into it, and I mean to someone from the outside looking in, it just looks like the perfect opportunity. Like you're quite, I feel like if you were in it, you'd definitely have a good chance of winning it. So I think a lot of people like myself were kind of confused what the decision was to not go in it.
Well, it was because I had injured my back, so my back was sore. So, I mean, going into the house at that time, with an injury just wasn't smart on my part. Secondly, I felt like I was already established enough as a fighter, and most of the fighters that go on the show, they need help to be seen. And, I mean, I already feel like I have a good following, and, I'm comfortable, or I was comfortable, fighting with Invicta and LFA until I got the call up.
Yeah, because I think what it was you were fighting Liz Tracy. It was like 3 days before the tryouts, wasn't it?
Yes.
And was this when your back was injured? Was it like would it be for the Liz Tracy?
My back was injured. My back had been injured since the beginning of the year. I fought 3 times with the way that it was. It's just that it wasn't getting any better. So I felt like, after that Liz Tracy fight, I was planning on taking some time off and just recovering and seeing the doctors about it.
Do you feel like in that Liz Tracy fight, obviously I think it was the first decision win you've had since in years. Do you feel like it hindered your performance, the back injury?
Oh yeah, for sure. There was, any time that I was on my back, whenever I went for that arm bar, I was going for an arm bar at one point, and she stacked me up. I mean, my back started hurting immediately, and with every time that I had to defend a takedown and get back to my feet, I mean, my back was hurting the whole time. So it was just something that I had to push through and just, bite down on my mouthpiece and just grind it out. But I feel like my takedown defense would have been a lot better. And who knows about that arm bar? I mean, I couldn't extend the way that I needed to because of the position that I was in with my back.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So I just want you to clear up because I feel like a lot of people they're uneducated about it is the USADA test back in 2016. I obviously I've read into it and I know it was a diuretic and you were unaware it was on the ban list. But like, what would you say to the people who think, because obviously you joined and it was cancelled, and then people realise you failed the USADA test, and instantly they just think, oh, steroids. They don't think what the substance was. So if you had a message to send to the people who they're unaware of the topic, what would it be?
Just that, first of all, I've never taken steroids, and I was never suspended, or I didn't fail the test because of steroids, and I was not aware that that fluid pills were used as a masking agent. I didn't know anything about that until I was tested for the fluid pill. For me, I use fluid pills because I swell and I bloat, every now and then, a couple of times a year, and I get very uncomfortable. And so I'll use a fluid pill for that reason. Other than that, I never knew that people used them for masking. I don't even understand how that could even possibly work, but apparently it does. And next, I think that people just need to be aware that you can get suspended for anything. I mean, in competition, I think you get suspended for like ibuprofen and sleep aids. So I mean, just there's simple things like that, and then they're always changing the banned substance list. I mean, who was it that was taking one of their supplements that they had been taking for years and years and years, and then all of us, was it Machado? No, who was it? Machida.
Yeah, it was Machida. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Machida, and then all of us, I don't know what the name of the product was, but I mean, all of a sudden it was like that year they decided to put it on the banned substance list, and nobody told him, and that's why he got suspended for 2 years. And I wouldn't say that's his fault, but I mean, you just never know what's on there. There's so many different things that you can get suspended for that's not steroids. It's just something simple.
Yeah, exactly. It was a substance like keto DHEA or something, and what had happened is he'd been taking it for ages, and they put it on the list, and he actually told them that he was taking it, and he still got banned for ages.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah, it was just ridiculous.
Like you said, it's always changing, but obviously that it was prior to I think it was the Sarah D'Amelio fight, and obviously you lost that fight, but I think, did you take the diuretic because the weight cut was really rough, or what was it?
I took it for the weight cut, yeah. I was paranoid and thinking that, I needed it at that moment because I had been bloating and I was retaining water. So, and I didn't think anything about it. I was just, was like, I'm going to take this. Maybe it'll help me, since, I'm period and I'm bloated, whatever,
Yeah.
But, hindsight's 2020.
I was going to ask you, because obviously that was the second loss of your career. Do you feel like the weight cut, was it a really bad weight cut for the fight, and then did that hinder your performance in the fight as well, or?
No, I don't think that it hindered my performance at all. I feel like I had a great performance up until the moment that I made a stupid mistake, and let her take my back. Mm-hmm.
So, something, whilst we're on the topic of this, like USADA testing and stuff, is, I don't know if it's as vigorous as it is in Invicta, but obviously now you're a UFC fighter, you're under the USADA testing, and we heard it all before, it's whereabouts 24/7, random testing at 6 a.m, whatever time it is. And I don't know if you've actually been tested yet. I was trying to see how many times they've bothered you by coming at 6 a.m. in the morning, but I've seen you've been traveling a bit, and is it quite stressful to just update where you are every single minute of the day?
I got an app, so it makes it easy, just remembering to update it is the only thing. But I haven't been tested yet. They haven't come to my house yet, so I'm still waiting on that.
So if it's like, for example, say you forget to update the app, I mean, is it kind of like you're in not in trouble, so to speak, but is it just remembering to do this, which is kind of a bit of an effort?
If I don't update it and I go out of town and they show up, then I'll get a failed whereabouts test. So it's basically like failing a drug test almost. But I get like 3 of those, and then if I fail 3 of those in 6 months, then I have to take the course all over again.
Oh, okay. So the thing is, it's quite unclear. Like sometimes people think if they turn up and you're not there once, it's instantly a banned test, but it doesn't seem like that. So,
no, they'll give me like an hour or two to show up. They'll call you, and they'll try to let you know that they're there. If they get to the house and happen to be at the grocery store or something like that, they'll contact me and I can get there in time to see them and be tested.
Yeah, I get it.
But if I'm out of town and it happens and I didn't update it, then it would be an automatic.
Yeah,
fail to worry about.
I see. So I just want to clear something up. Did you join the USADA testing pool? Was it in September or was it 3 months before in June?
It was right when I'll be done at the end of March. I joined the USADA testing pool right as I signed my UFC contract a few weeks ago.
So that's what I was curious over, because obviously just because of that diuretic it means you have to have 6 months. But
yes.
So that means you won't be able to make your debut until March time. I was looking at the cards around March, but I guess this must be really frustrating for you, because obviously they have the card in Houston, which is February, and that would have been a card I'm sure you would have loved to compete on, but I think it's obviously too soon. Do you even have a date or an opponent set in mind for when you want to return?
I think April might be when I may be getting to fight. I don't know yet. I'm not 100% sure on that. And as far as an opponent, we don't have one. So I mean, we're waiting to see how the Ultimate Fighter plays out.
Oh, okay, I see. Because obviously the original opponent you were supposed to fight, which is Caitlin Vieira, I think she's just got a fight with Jermaine Durandamir in the works. So I mean, given that it's a few months away, I don't really think there's anyone specific at the moment. But have you been? Like you said, you've got a few people in mind that you've looked out on tough. Obviously, I was wondering if you could give a prediction of who you think would win the show. Obviously, it's already happened and stuff, but we don't know yet. Given from what you saw, who do you think's gonna come out on top of that season?
Well, obviously Roxanne and Barb are the favorites, but I think Sarge is really tough, and I don't know. She could be the one. But then again, there was Nico too. I was really impressed with her performance. But I don't know.
Okay, I see. So I was going to ask you what your plans for 2018 were, because obviously it's not really like it's a fresh start, but you're under a new promotion, and they've just started up this division, flyweight, which is your division. I mean, do you have a number of fights in mind for 2018? Do you think you could get possibly a title shot and maybe become the champion, or is that is that looking ahead too much?
If I could get 3 fights in next year, I would be happy.
Did you say 30 or 3? Sorry.
3.
3. Oh yeah, I was about to say that 30. I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. So I mean, because obviously, the new division and stuff, it suits you perfectly. You've been fighting. I mean, in flight. Of course, what's the point of moving up and down? But onto the topic of weight cutting now. Do you feel like weight 135 is just too big and 115 is just too small? 125 is just perfect for you?
I think 125 is perfect for me. I don't think that I need to go up or try and go down.
Okay. So I'd just like to say thanks for the time, Andrea. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I could finally speak to you. And also, I want to finish off by saying I apologise for referring to you as Angela in the first few emails. God, it was my mistake. I actually thought that was the reason I wasn't getting a reply, but obviously it was because it was a different Skype I was messaging. But so yeah, sorry about that, and thanks for the time.
It's okay. It's quite all right. I mean, I had seen that. You called me that a couple of times, but I never said anything just because I thought maybe you've interviewed that girl a bunch of times. I might be getting the name confused or something like that. I mean, it happens.
Yeah. Thanks for the time, Andrea, and hopefully I can speak to you again in the future.